can this be one of the best foreign films of the year? And what is with the stairs scene?
So many stairs!
Like, come on. The Oscar simpery is insane. Like, I feel like film directors nowadays, they just need one long, unnecessary continuous shot of anything, even if it's pointless. Just to be like, oh my gosh, it's so exquisite, cinematographic. That's what the stair scene literally is. Now, I'm ranting, but this actually is a pretty good movie. A Hero. A Hero is about this character named Rami. He's coming out of prison for a 2-day leave, and he gets a chance to convince his creditor to drop the charges from his debt, because he's in prison for debt. So, this movie kind of follows that, and it also follows the story of how his girlfriend finds this bag of coins on the street. He can use it to pay off his creditor. Not all the money, but a lot of it. And maybe to get him to drop the charges so he can continue. But he decides to return it and try to find the person who lost the gold. He gets kind of labeled this hero. That's that like return money to like a poor woman who had lost it. And it kind of gives his reputation. It's like, you know, once you're perceived as a high status individual, you kind of have a reputation to unfold. So people's eyes are always on you because you're the person to be looked up to. So you can kind of see how the story unfolds based on his reputation, his honor, and him trying to find a way to not go back to jail. It all encompasses that together. Now, the plot is very simple, and I do not like simple plot movies, but I like this movie. That's how good it is. Like, the plot is just that. Him trying to convince the creditor to not let him in jail, and returning the gold coins, and everything that ensues after that. That's it. But done it so masterfully that it just feels like so much more, and it's so hard to explain without watching it. Now, the thing is, though, I do have to give it a criticism of how they do the cinematography. Don't get me wrong, the cinematography itself is good. But I mentioned this a little earlier, a little bit more joking, but like, in actuality, I feel like there's this Oscar simping by putting the beginning with a lot of cinematography themes that are really great, except the stairs. And then the middle of the movie, you just have like a normal movie and normal cinematography. And then random moments when they think that the people are forgetting, they're like, ooh, masterful scene. And it's like, it kind of feels lazy. Like, it feels like, oh my gosh, we have this great product, and then in the entire midsection, we're just gonna film it normally because we got tired. Which, honestly, it's okay. This is just nitpicking, but I don't think the average viewer is gonna be like, oh my gosh, they stopped doing cinematography well, ooh. And it's not even that bad, don't get me wrong. They just went from amazing to good. But continuing on, let's go to the characters. Rami is an imbecile. Like, it's so hard for me to understand Rami. He's like very aloof, very nice guy. Kind of dumb. He's my least favorite character out of all the characters. Like, I don't know, there's some scenes that I'm like, dude, what do you want then? What do you want? Like, you want something to happen, you go against them, and then you're like, okay, if you don't want it to happen what you wanted, so you try to remove it, but you still want the same result as if you had done it, what do you expect to happen? If I want a drink, if I want to pour myself a drink, and I go to pour it, and then I'm like, nah, I don't want to pour a drink, and I sit down, and then I'm like, damn, I wish I had a drink. What do you want? You were literally there. You literally could have done it. Morals, yeah. I'm not gonna spoil too much. Like, sure, maybe you have a change of heart and stuff, but I just feel like he changes his mind so much, and it's like, maybe that's on purpose, but it's just an internal conflict that I find annoying. It's not like you do something, you're like, okay, I learned. You continue trying to do similar things. In fact, you do worse things than what your moral conflict doesn't let you do. And then you're just like, oh, never mind. Oh, but wait. Ah, never mind. Oh, but wait. I don't even know. But honestly, all the characters are great. There's no weak characters. There is no true villain, which I find very interesting. There's the character that is set to be the villain, the creditor. But as you watch it, you kind of realize there is no villain in this movie. It's all up to how you perceive to be what is the antagonist. But there is no antagonist, in my opinion. it's all like messaging. It's like, oh, society. Maybe you could say society, but you can't even. I don't know. You can't even say anything society. Any non-character you want to say is an antagonist, you just can't, because it's just done in a way that everyone has a reasoning. Because sometimes you might think someone is being a bad person or evil, but if you look at the reasons why they have to do it, it doesn't seem so bad anymore, or not at all. It seems actually the same thing that you would do. So I have to give this one an 8.5. You know, it's pretty good, pretty good. So if you want to see more movie reviews, centricity on politics and cultural, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.